Welcome! Welcome. It is a treat to spend this moment with you. I am John Halcyon Stinn, and today's topic is a New Year's blessing of being. We're now weeks into 2015, and I've been thinking a lot and talking a lot about New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, and seeing people as they are turning over new leaves and starting new exercise plans and trying to reflect upon their weaknesses. And I think all of these things are fantastic projects and ways to look at a new year. A new year is an arbitrary, mark on the calendar, an arbitrary time when we can kind of take inventory of what's happened in the last lap that we've ran around this track of ours. And I think that's all beautiful. But what I am challenging myself and others to do is to maybe make a New Year's, instead of a resolution, more of a refocusing, less about doing things and more about being. See, our culture is so hyper-focused on more, bigger, growing, fixing. We're so focused on what's wrong. And that's part of what's built into our economic system. We have an economic system that needs growth and progress in those terms. But we also have a media world that is built on top of advertising. And so advertising supports everything we see. So everything that we see in media, whether it's magazine or television, often there is a deep connection to advertising. And advertising, the whole point of it is to try to influence us to desire, to want, to feel like we have something lacking and we need something more. And so, of course, New Year's resolutions is about as American as apple pie and guns. But it just totally makes sense. Of course, it's like a holiday to look at all the things that we can improve on. And then, of course, I'm sure there's company after company after company that is full of plans and projects and planners and all sorts of things to help you fix what's wrong with you. And I actually I think there's a very subtle difference that I'm talking about, because seeking to grow, seeking to examine the life that you live, what was that, Aristotle that said that way back in the day? That, it is a huge part of a human experience to continually grow as a person. But the key is that growth motivated from love or fear? And I would argue that so much of that need to grow is kind of a fighting against a feeling of security lack. It's fighting against a feeling of not being enough. It's a fear-based process as opposed to a love-based process. And a love-based process would be one where you just feel like you feel a deep connection to this thing, whether that is the diet or whether that is the new skill that you want to learn. You don't learn piano because it's weak to not have a musical ability. You practice piano because you feel like, oh, I think that inside me is a song that needs to get out. That's a love-based path. Running because it makes you feel fit and healthy and vibrant and human and alive. That's love-based. Running because you feel fat and you can't stand to look at yourself in the mirror anymore. That's fear. And I think that so much, fear is very powerful, and that's why so much of the marketing and advertising really tries to get us in that fear place. So it's really about fine-tuning the thought process more than it is about the actions themselves. I'm not saying you don't do anything. I'm saying you don't need to do anything. You don't feel that panicky self-hate as a driving force. There's a great line in A Course in Miracles that says, "I need do nothing." And I loved the way that Jacob Glass kind of helped me understand this. He said that I need do nothing is not the same thing as I won't do anything or I don't do anything. It says I need do nothing. It means that I am not motivated from that place of panic or fear or lack. It means that I tune into an inner truth. I align with love, and I act from a place of presence. So we are absolutely active in the world. The whole idea of float more, steer less is not that you just don't do nothing. It means that you are aware of the current. You work with the flow of things, and that way your energy and your efforts are exponentially effective. I know it's counterintuitive, but I would encourage some of your New Year's goals to be one of being rather than doing. Be present, have integrity, align with love. It's not a list of things you need to do. It's a process by which to get to a place of making sound decisions from your heart. And then you can act and be and do, not from a mindful agenda, but from a soulful sense of presence. And then you can leverage this, deeper energy, this deeper purpose that is just kind of trying to bubble out amidst all the loud voices of our culture. One of the reasons why it can be so helpful to let go of the to-do list and the goals and the mindful agenda of how to manipulate and get to where you're supposed to be and change the world to the way it should be. One of the reasons why it's so good to be wary of that is because we do not know if we are in a position of advancing or retreating. That's another idea from the Course in Miracles. That we don't know if things are good or bad for us. One of the gifts of wisdom, the idea of recognizing the limitations of our understandings, it's not that, oh, I'm so dumb. It's recognizing that, oh, I am rarely in the vantage point to know. In the moment, I think it's terrible that I'm in a traffic jam. 3 years from now, I realize that it kept me away from the meeting that would have sent me down the wrong path. 6 years ago, I thought this relationship ending was the worst thing that could have happened to me. 4 years ago, I realized, thank goodness that that is not the path that I continued on. And so wisdom helps us to kind of have some weight as we push back on the mental game and the mental desire and the need to make this plan and make these goals and an agenda for how things are supposed to be. It lets us kind of settle into, oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I do, if I'm at my best, I can get in touch with what my highest self is. I can get in touch with what my truth is. And so if I make decisions from there, even if the short-term steps seem like it's not heading in the direction that I want, I can have faith that it's heading in the direction of this flow. Now, I say this story all the time, as well as do many other people, because it is an awesome story. The Zen story of the farmer who one day has one of his horses run away. And the neighbor says, oh, sucks to be you, man. And the farmer goes, could be. And then the next night, his horse returns from wherever it was for the last few days, and with it has 5 wild horses, and brings them all into his stable. The neighbor's like, oh my gosh, you are so lucky. The farmer goes, maybe. The next day, the farmer's son, older teenager, is trying to tame some of these new horses and gets bucked and breaks his leg. Neighbor says, oh, you are unlucky. Sucks to be you. Neighbor and the farmer says, maybe. Until the army comes through town, pulling all healthy young men in to be enlisted for a far-off war. And they skip the farmer's son because of his injury. Lucky you. Maybe. It is such a powerful reminder. It is such the root of wisdom. It is such a significant reminder as we get caught up in the things that we think we need to do. I need do nothing. I do not have this vantage point. I do not know the way things unfold. I can only make choices from a place of integrity and presence and love, and know that if I do that, then I am playing my role according to the values and ideals that are important to me, and then the outcome will be one that is also in alignment with my true self. And so you have to be less concerned with the outcome and more concerned with staying present and aware to the process. Being present to the experience, being present to the massive amounts of miracles that are happening all the time. If we don't do that, it's so easy to take everything for granted. We stop noticing anything. We stop noticing all the wonderful things that happened yesterday and instead go, well, what have you done for me lately, life? It's kind of like we get caught up in the marketing messaging, in our internal biology, making us take things for granted, and we start to just get so focused on the way we think things should be that the gift of being here is lost. Imagine you get tickets to the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl, and for whatever reason, your team is losing, and you could spend 4 quarters just cursing the heavens and frustrated and suffering as your team is losing. Or you could be present, not be so focused on the outcome, and instead tune in to this gift. You are in incredible seats. You have an incredible vantage point. You can see the players. You can see the grass. You can hear the huddle. You can smell the players. There's this richness of the experience when you are present to it. And in the cosmic historic perspective, if we look at all the empty space of the universe, if we look at all the time that has passed on this planet and in the universe, every day and every moment of your life is the Super Bowl. It's totally cool to get sucked up in the game and cheer in the exuberant parts and feel loss in the bummer parts. Curse a bad call, high five a neighbor. Yeah, enjoy the game. But also keep reminding yourself, I'm on the 50-yard line. I'm on the 50-yard line. I'm on the 50-yard line. This is so awesome. It's a gift. Every tick, 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 tick of the game. So be present for the game. Be aware of the game. And so that New Year's resolution that I'm encouraging, that New Year's blessing, is not so much an act of doing or changing or fixing. It's an act of being awake, being conscious, being aware, being in awe, being in appreciation, being filled with gratitude. Not for the performance of your team, but for the ability to watch the game. And occasionally, more often than you'd think, getting a chance to play. We often think that play are the obstacles of life. Play are the struggles and the challenges and the stress. We're lucky. We actually get to get on the field, get dirty, stretch ourselves, push ourselves, learn, grow, help one another, be good sports. That's what it's about, not the final score. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. And how present you are as the game is being played, and how aware you are of the gift of your seat. Every moment of our life, the game is taking place. Fertile Planet, amazing science, love lives, drama, colors, music, dance, sex. This is the game that's happening all the time. There is no losing this game. There's simply recalibrating to an awareness of our place in it all. Whew. Wow, 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 wow. Whew. Wow. Yes. So, New Year's blessings to you, magical moment to you. May every moment of the game be a gift. Whether you're on the field, whether you're watching, whether you're cheering, whether you're just taking in the 7th inning stretch. I'm so glad you're a part of it. Thank you. I love you.